In the 1930s, the sky wasn't just the limit, it was a spectacle. The world was captivated by the sight of airships, majestic, floating giants that combined engineering brilliance with luxury beyond imagination. Among them, one name stood above the rest, the LZ-129 Hindenburg. At over 800 feet in length, it was longer than the Titanic and nearly the size of the Empire State Building. Built by the Zeppelin Company and operated by the German Zeppelin airline, the Hindenburg wasn't just a vessel, it was a flying hotel. Polished dining rooms, promenades with panoramic windows, and cabins lined with paintings, all suspended in the clouds. This was the future of air travel. The Hindenburg completed 10 successful transatlantic voyages to the U.S. in 1936. It carried celebrities, dignitaries, and everyday passengers with a taste for the extraordinary. Boarding the Hindenburg was an experience of ceremony and awe. Passengers would ascend via a gangplank, greeted by uniformed crew. Inside, a hushed quiet filled the air, disturbed only by the gentle hum of its four Daimler-Benz diesel engines. Landings were choreographed with military-like precision. As the ship approached the mooring field, dozens of ground crew waited with ropes and winches, guiding the enormous airship like sailors bringing a ship to dock. The Hindenburg would hover, drop forward and aft mooring lines, and gradually be winched down by hand while passengers waited for the gangways to be aligned. But on May 6, 1937, that carefully repeated routine ended in an inferno. After completing an early-season flight to Rio de Janeiro, the Hindenburg left Frankfurt on May 3rd, bound for Lakehurst, New Jersey. Bad weather in Lakehurst delayed landing, prompting Captain Max Pruss to give passengers a bonus, a scenic tour over Manhattan and the Jersey coast. At 7:21 p.m., at just under 300 feet altitude, the mooring lines were dropped, starboard first, then port. A light rain began to fall as the ground crew moved into position, but something went terribly wrong. Within seconds, the rear of the Hindenburg erupted into flames. The fire raced along the ship's massive hydrogen-filled envelope, consuming the structure in just 37 seconds. Of the 97 people on board, 36 lost their lives, along with one member of the ground crew. The disaster was captured on film by newsreel crews, and radio broadcaster Herbert Morrison, his voice cracking, delivered the unforgettable words, "Oh, the humanity." It became one of the most haunting recordings in broadcast history. The exact cause of the fire remains uncertain. Theories include hydrogen leaks, electrostatic discharge, or even a combination of structural and environmental factors. But this disaster wasn't just the end of the Hindenburg. It was the end of an era, the final blow to passenger airship travel. In a single moment, what had once represented the future of flight became a tragic memory. Now, through recolored footage, we witness this moment not as distant history, but through living color, restored frame by frame, to bring back the emotion, the majesty, and the shock of that day. Thank you for watching this recolored piece of history.